Tony Abbott came to office promising to create 1 million jobs. His successor, Malcolm Turnbull, could have his work cut out for him delivering on that promise. Today's jobless rate might be unchanged, but more people were fired than hired last month. The unemployment was steady at 6.2%, but almost 14,000 full-time jobs were lost. It all suggests record low interest rates are not doing much for employment beyond housing construction, and that the Australian economy's move to non-mining growth looks like a work in progress. Here's David Taylor.
Before the 2013 federal election, Tony Abbott pledged to create 1 million jobs in 5 years, 2 million in a decade.
We will deliver 1 million new jobs over 5 years, 2 million new jobs over a decade. We will give the people of Australia the additional jobs that they need to be confident that there will be a strong and prosperous future for them and their children.
He might have gone, but the promise is still here, while the jobs are not. Robert Wilson runs an engineering business in Victoria, servicing the mining and energy sectors. Mr Wilson says it's been hard going.
Well, over the past 3 years, we have reduced our headcount quite sadly from a reasonably high level, and our goal is certainly to maintain the employment levels that we have.
It's a nice goal, but nothing's guaranteed. And that job insecurity, says Shane Oliver, is hurting the economy.
I think that would be weighing on confidence, because even though people have got a job, unemployment's still relatively low compared to where it has been in decades past. But by the same token, I think there is that feeling of insecurity. That probably explains why one of the reasons why consumer confidence is running at subpar levels.
Official data out today shows the unemployment rate steady at 6.2%. Overall, the number of people employed decreased by 5,100 in September. Around 13,900 full-time jobs were lost, while close to 9,000 part-time jobs were created. The largest decrease was in male full-time employment, down 11,000.
86,000 additional Australians lining unemployment queues in this country since the Abbott-Turnbull government was elected, and 112,000 jobs short of their modest promise before the election in terms of creating jobs.
The government says the opposition has to share in some of the blame.
So certainly, when it comes to growing jobs in Australia, once we are given that opportunity to implement our agenda, we can see an acceleration in jobs growth.
Business owners say they've done the hard work of making their operations leaner and more efficient. But the key ingredient for economic growth is still noticeably absent.
And now our ability to respond rapidly is there, so we can now turn around things much quicker than we did previously. But the real demand for employment and our encouragement to employ more people will come from a much greater order book.
But how likely is Mr Wilson's order book to be filled?
I think going forward it's going to get a little bit tougher, because we've still got this ongoing downturn in mining investment, but in the meantime, housing construction probably going to remain strong for the next 6 months. But as we go through next year, it's going to start slowing down. And of course, we've also got this threat flowing from higher mortgage rates, which is left unchecked, if not offset, is going to be a big drag on household spending power, affecting consumer spending and, of course, retail employment.
That's not great news if this prediction from the NAB's top banker is anything to go by.
The key driver here, in my mind, is unemployment. And with unemployment at around 6% and generally forecast to drift down rather than drift up, I think that's the best indicator that we can look at as to the confidence in the economy more generally and housing specifically.
And maybe a little guts and determination from the backbone of Australia's manufacturing heartland.
And it's a challenge, but we're committed into the future. We're a family business. My father started the business in 1933. I'm second generation, and my family is involved in the third generation. So we are very committed into the long term.
Creating 1 million jobs looks like hard work.